What's up? You're in the kitchen. What are you making tonight? I just got done mopping. I hate mopping, especially when it's warm out. I always because of my high blood pressure, I always get so sweaty. It's disgusting. I was looking up this guy. His name apparently is Waldo Grant, and he was also a serial killer at the time the other dude was the last call killer. I didn't know that. Oh, I love lasagna, especially homemade. Do you put green olives in yours? Oh crap, I forgot about my taxes. Oh well. So someone had mentioned to me, they're like, yeah, there was another one at the same time. I didn't know that. So it says charge he murdered four young gay lovers. Okay, maybe there was more to that title. Gay serial killer Waldo Grant, that's his name. So it says in this clipping, a 31-year-old man who allegedly lived off gay lovers and then killed them in fits of homosexual vengeance was arrested and charged with four brutal murders yesterday. Suspect Waldo Grant of 7W 103D Street allegedly dismembered one body and left it in three garbage bags in Central Park. Another victim was thrown into a rear yard and a third was dumped into a trash can. The fourth was found in an apartment. It's like Jeffrey Dahmer. Hopefully he's not eating them though. Hey, Brenda Pause. You don't like green olives? Oh, I love them in my lasagna. All of the victims were young and lived in apartments on the Upper West Side, according to police. Grant made a statement about the four murders, police said. Grizzly Slang. Yeah, so this guy, he was a serial killer, and he also lived in New York and was in the area at the time the last call killer was there. Grizzly slang, it says included in Grant's account was the slang of Harry Carello, 16 years old, 125 West 109th Street, whose dismembered body was discovered December 29th in a remote area of Central Park between the West Drive and West 103rd Street. The short, slender suspect allegedly took Carlo's body to the park in a shopping cart. Oh my God. That's kind of obvious though, unless there's like a lot of homeless people around there and they just assumed it was a homeless person doing that. Like with the shopping cart, I mean. Because I definitely notice it around here. Lieutenant James Power said that Grant became a prime suspect in Carrillo's murder almost immediately because police were able to place him and the victim together on the night of the murder. Grant, detectives said, reportedly had been a self-styled minister for a Black gospel church in Georgia from the time he was 16. He told us he left the church when he was 24, 7 years ago, and came north and finally settled in New York. What? So he's a minister for a gospel church. Turns out to be a gay serial killer. Wow. Not in your lasagna. Part of gay scene. Police quoted Grant as saying that he became part of the gay scene and part became fairly well known throughout the West Side gay community. Grant, whom one detective described as one of the strangest characters I've ever met, and I've met some strange ones, reportedly told police that he killed the four because each had wanted to end a homosexual relationship with them. He said he just couldn't let them go, the police detective said. Wow. Police questioned Grant several times over the last 2 weeks and said they uncovered numerous discrepancies. One of the murders took place in 1973, one in 1975, and two in 1976. Grant allegedly admitted using a lead pipe to kill Philip Mitchell, 20, of 203 W 91st Street on September 3rd, 1973. Mitchell's body was dragged to the roof and thrown into a rear yard. The third victim was identified as George Muniz, 21, also of 203 W 91st Street, who was stabbed to death in the apartment and dumped into a trash can half a block away. The fourth victim was Harold Phillips, 22. It looks like the same apartment building. Or no, different one. 24 West 24th Street, who was, oh my God, beaten to death with a hammer in his apartment on October 3rd. Grant also volunteered information about additional murders, police said. The suspect was taken to the W 82nd Street station and booked on 4 murder charges. He was scheduled to arraignment in Manhattan criminal court. Jeez, that's crazy. They are very salty, yeah. I have to give you that. I don't know what it is. I just love them in my lasagna. Claire stole my spot. Now she's gone, so I'm taking it back. Ugh. That's like, have you guys ever had what even is it called? You drink it or drink it. You eat it with beer. Um, I want to see. It's not beer cheese. It's I guess pickled cheese. Hey, Dad. Oh, no worries. Yeah, it's I guess pickled cheese. It's salty, like really, really, really salty, and it's about this long, and it's almost like what do you call those things? Kids getting their lunches. Hey, Benina. Oh, Chinese. Crab rangoons. I've never had them. And egg rolls. Oh. Um, not a cheese stick. Oh my, a cheese string. It's like a cheese string. And like it's pure white. It's a lot harder and it sits in a jar that's in rind and it's very, very salty. And usually you buy them. Not well, you don't have to, but when you do buy them, they're at a bar. So when you're drinking beer and you have some of that, they're so salty, you just drink all night. My sister and I ended up making that mistake. I just wanted to try it. I was like, oh my God, this is so salty. Yeah, we drank a lot that night, I tell you that. And I found this guy, this Waldo dude on Wikipedia as well. So I'll share that with you. And then I'm gonna show you what I found down this little rabbit hole, which yeah, there's not a whole lot here, but it's his name is Waldo Grant. That's him there. So gay serial killer who killed 4 victims, all because they tried to break up with him, or they did break up with him. All right, so Waldo Grant was born November 3rd, 1946. He is an American serial killer who murdered 4 young gay men in New York City between 1973 and 1976. So the reason why I wanted to touch on this is for the fact that there was more than just the one serial killer in New York at the time of the AIDS epidemic, and I thought I didn't know that. I thought it was just the last call killer and then AIDS itself. Um, I didn't know there was this guy too. He later confessed to the killings after being questioned by police about his fourth murder and was subsequently sentenced to life in prison. That's it. His personal lives. Waldo Grant was born in Georgia on November 3rd, 1946. When he turned 16, he became a self-ordained minister for a black gospel church. In 1971, he moved north to escape a failed marriage. Eventually settling into an apartment on Manhattan's Upper West Side. Can you imagine being a self-ordained minister for a black gospel church and then turning into a gay serial killer after being married? Well, failed marriage. Although his neighbors described him as a quiet loner, he was somewhat well known throughout Upper West Side's gay community. Here's the murders. Um, so the first one, I believe, Philip Mitchell, that was on September 13th, 1973. Grant murdered 20-year-old Philip Mitchell by hitting him over the head with a lead pipe. He then dragged Mitchell's body to the roof of 203 West 91st Street. In an attempt to make the murder look like an accident, he threw Mitchell's corpse off the roof and into a rear yard. Yeah, I don't know how that would work. Grant stated he killed Philip Mitchell because he demanded money after sex and started rummaging through Grant's closet. What? I bet you that was a lie. However, this claim has not been substantiated. Yeah, I was going to say, I doubt it. Grant and other residents of the apartment building were questioned about the murder, but no arrests were made. George Muniz, almost 2 years later, the body of 23-year-old George Muniz was found in a metal trash can in front of a house at 210 West 91st Street, a half a block away from Grant's apartment, where the murder occurred. He had been stabbed multiple times in the throat and the back. Harold Phillips, on October 3rd, 1976, 22-year-old Harold Phillips was beaten to death with a hammer in his own apartment at 27 East 124th Street. Then Harry Garillo, on December 29th, 1976. The dismembered body of a 16-year-old Harry Garillo was discovered by children playing on a path in Central Park. Oh my. Grant, who knew the victim for about 6 months, had cut his naked body into 3 pieces with a saw and put his remains into 3 green garbage bags. He then transported Carrillo's remains to Central Park using a shopping cart. His arrest and imprisonment. Since he was the last person to be seen with Harry Garillo, Grant soon became a suspect in his murder. Police questioned him multiple times over the span of 2 weeks. On January 10th, 1977, police brought Grant back for questioning, presenting him with circumstantial evidence which connected him to Garillo's murder. After being questioned for 5 hours, Grant confessed to Garillo's murder, stating, "Harry is very attractive to me, and I desire him very much, and that was the only way I could get him." By killing him? A short time later, he confessed to 3 other murders, proclaiming that he had an uncontrollable urge to kill. On June 30th, 1978, he was found guilty of the 4 murders and sentenced to 4 concurrent life sentences. He now resides at Green Haven Correctional Facility. There's not very much on him. I've been looking. And then I checked YouTube to see if there was anything, and I was like, And then I came across this. So I'm going to show you this as well. So this kind of freaked me out when I was looking at it. Waldo Grant serial killer, and then it says Waldo Grant letter 3. I was like, what the hell is this? Listen to this.
In this letter, he responds back to me. He explains his love for God and the love for his son. He says that his son is the only man that shows love to him and his whole entire family now. He also says that he's going to a doctor, and for some reason he also explains why people lie to make money. In this, he does go into explicit about Harry. He goes on a slight tangent about 2 plus 4, but then he goes into how Harry truly betrayed him by sleeping with his girlfriend, even though him and Harry were in a relationship. I do feel like I upset him a little bit, and I will go right back to apologize. My next letter will be...
I do feel like I upset him, and I will write back to him and apologize. What the hell? Like, I don't know. I just came across this. Who is this person? Is that it? You just have to... This is where I read and explain all the letters I received from murderers and serial killers. I also will read and post all my responses that I send them. This is a hobby that I find great interest in. If you want to send me information, you can write or send it to me through my peer. What the? What? Is she nuts? Oh my God, look at them all. Trying to see if I know any of them. Waldo's second letter. Okay, where's the first one? Waldo Grant response.
The letter I will be sending him is this one. Pause to read. I will be sending a copy of the original letter as well, so he has a reference. Fun fact, Waldo killed only homosexuals. If you would like to keep following my letters, just follow and like. The letter I will be sending him is this one. Pause to read. I will be sending a copy of the original letter as well, so he has a reference. Fun fact,
Okay. That was her first letter to him. That is so dangerous. Here's the second letter.
Sorry for that break. I've been trying to figure out the YouTube. We got another letter from Waldo. I will put in another video for a better reading one. But just to see his handwriting is a little bit hard to read. Sorry for that break. I've been trying to figure.
Okay, is there actual videos? These just shorts. There they are, all Waldo Grant. She's got three silk. She's got Waldo Grant, William Leonard, and David Bullock. Oh my God, she's nuts. You guys want to watch these with me? This is crazy. Hey, Kimmy. There's a lot of people do that. A lot of information about these people comes from this correspondence. This is scary. I found a website and everything, Dev. I'll show you guys after. I just want to see. Whoa, this is nuts. I wonder if she's in the, because I signed up for this website. I don't know why I did. I'm just curious, but I would never write to these people.
As I'm in the midst of applying for residency right now, wish me luck, Grammarly has again been a lifesaver with my application.
It's going to be my full video on Waldo Grant and all the letters that
Oh my
I've
God.
received from him so far. Dear Waldo, I had a few questions for you if you don't mind. I understand if you don't want to answer my questions. If you want a pen pal, that's fine with me too. So a few questions are: 1. Are you religious? I am Christian. 2. Does your victims haunt you for what you did? Yes. 3. Do you take any medications? Yes. 4. Do you feel regret? Yes. 5. Do you go on with your days like normal, or do the thoughts of what you did weigh on your mind? Yes. 6. If you have seen the spirits of your victims, what was it like? Like heavy weights, others trying to get with me. Please write back if you please. Thank you and have a great day. You too, Nemo. I see you like asking questions. What are you doing out there?
I'm sorry. Is this, I don't know if this it sounds like a girl, but to me it sounds like it says Mr. on it, so I'm assuming it's a boy. Sounds very, very young. I don't understand this. Why would you want to do that? I would be terrified for my life. Oh my God. No, it's okay, Teresa. I'm just kind of mind blown at this. I've never seen anything like this in my life. So the guy I was just talking about, she's writing to, or he's writing to.
There in Florida? And why those questions? How old are you? What made you choose me? Was it the violence viciously killing? Did you hear about how they killed Jesus? Your box number 1446. Can you guess what 46 means to me? Also, your
Mm.
zip code 327 and 1 mean to me? Check my DIN number 78A2151. Yet you still got number 46. Sincerely, Waldo.
Um, what the hell's number 46 mean? I would be terrified.
Nemo, greetings. I must give thanks to God for feeling better. This whole week I have not been feeling my best. First it was sleeping longer than usually, then I did not feel like getting up. But today when I got up, whether I felt like it or not, I got up to do what were to be done. My first assignment as work were to be doing postering for an hour. Then back up to my block, then I remember I have 3 letters to answer. I finished the first one, which was my son, which were mostly thanking him and family for remembering me with their blessings they received during the Christmas holiday celebration, and remind him of the letters to write to parole, hearing support or no support. So I learned what at the hearing. I have no reason to be negative, since him and family don't believe everything which were written for one reason as another. One who knew the way of the world is to sell more, make more money, whichever sounds best to their ears. Now, in answering your questions, I believe numbers are related and have a meaning behind them. And asking questions shows signs of being in charge and usually get what you was looking for. Maybe in the future, a judge, a lawyer, who knows? Reach for the stars and the Platonic.
Huh?
To see what I see. If it is his will, then you shall be intrigues. Then another Georgians is where I grew up. Paranormal investigator. Now, where I came from, there are all kinds of snakes. I walk the dirt roads.
What the hell? Is this person a paranormal investigator? Please, oh my God, look at this. Hello, I'm writing a letter to Sean Great. Do you think there's any possibility of he replying back to me? I don't live in US. Thanks in advance. This one says, please do all letters like this. I've always wanted to hear and their letters and read. Oh my God.
And whenever a snake cross your path and double back again and again, he's looking for a place to catch you. Not aware.
This is screwed up. Like really screwed up. I would never write to someone in jail. You don't know what you get. Exactly. That is scary as hell. He's got her address and everything. I mean, and he's telling her this, and now he's talking about this number, what is it, 46? It's got some sort of relevance to him for some reason. I don't know. Wow. This freaks me out.
And do damage, maybe because of what someone else done to him. The old saying is too stricken and you're out. Don't wait for the third one. Now, if he would keep going, maybe he'll live on. He had not turned back to cross the road in front of me and behind me, lest he pick the wrong son of God. Before he fused my heel, I bruised his head. Of course, he who lack wisdom, let him ask God, whom is all wisdom. The idea I kill multiple people will be four bodies. According to the way society tells it, to make it sound worse, one was so badly destroyed they find it easily said multiple bodies. In order to get the truth is to get the minutes of the court, which is the true records, or at least close to the truth, believe me. If the people don't like
So what, is he going to deny that he didn't kill four people now? And then above that, he's talking about paranormal investigation or investigator, and I don't know what that was even on about. Can you get those records about what happened in court? I don't know. I would obviously no, we can't hear, but that's kind of interesting.
the way they sound, they change it quickly. Now, in my case, since I confess, the people use this to hurt the people who comes after me with confession.
Huh?
I was the only one who cost them only the amount which the people desire to spend. Then they seal it up as much as they could. My people tried to get the minutes about 20 years later. They claimed they could not find them. Then, when they claimed they had the minutes, they charged them so much money per page. Another way to run around. Now, being a 22-year-old, you have a bit to learn, especially someone writing for gain. And believe me, there are companies that write for payment. To keep their buyer satisfied reading, especially when electronic is and are involved, became a bestseller and leer the fact count, however's. Telling lies catch one's ear quickly.
I have no clue what he's even trying to say. You can get court records? That's insane. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess because if you're in the courtroom, you would hear it publicly and stuff, right? So you should be able to get the records to that. So he's saying get the court records, read them, and that will be closer to the truth. I I don't believe any serial killer, so no. I don't know what the hell he's trying to say here.
And before you know it, the lies are the best and quickest ways to capable. That question, my uncontrollable, was like years apart, however. They call that the instance offense, as if it was uncontrollable again. This, how sales roll in constant. Now,
What?
as for cut up Harry, listen, there were no cutting up Harry. The part of his body which I started is the same place I ended. The truth, Harry was cut myth, wasted. Okay. He
So now as far as cut up Harry, Listen, there were no cutting up Harry. The part of his body which I started is the same place I started the truth. Harry was cut. Well, see what I mean? This is what? Myth wasted half, how, wid wasted halfway. How many are going for half and half? One was cut, making Harry's body two pieces. Then I took 6 bags, put the top half in 3 bags and the bottom half in 3 bags. Put them both in a household shopping cart and took them to the park. Was my mistake of being seen but not caught. And that's exactly what I just read in the reports in the newspaper and everything. So what the fudge is he
It
talking
was
about?
cut mid-waisted, half. How many are going to go half and half? One was cut, making Harry body two pieces. Then I took 6 trash bags, put the top half in 3, and the bottom half in the other 3.
Thanks.
Put them both in a household shopping cart and took them to the park. Was my mistake of being seen, but not caught. I guess they didn't share the good news. Harry and I was having a homosexual relationship. However, Harry had to have it his way. Anyway, my way was very few words, and I wasn't loaded. Yes, I was down low, but man had to make a scene. Believe it or not, I used to hate those Romans for killing Jesus, and these people that came in contact with that would say to me that Jesus could blank their blank. And I would come back with, that's why he gave life to me and others like me. Yes, we can blank your blank and snap in your face. I am way up now. What 46 means to me is the year I was born. And the number in your zip code means to me is also part of my DIN number. 781 stands for 78A. Then 21.
That's what the numbers are. So his age and his 781 stands for 78A, then 21. The rest were left. I was born 11/03/46. Can you see what I see? Like from your box number. It's hard to read. Take 3 from zip code, then you get, oh my God, he's making this a whole mathematical thing, subtracting and adding and everything.
The rest were left. I was born 11/03/46. Can you see what I see? Take from your box. Make 11, take 3 from the zip code, then get to 11/03. And 46 from your box number give you the year, day, and the year. Can you see what I see? Yet bringing it all into focus, 11/03/46. Now let me try drawing a picture. What heavyweight looks like. I remain your correspondent, Waldo Grant.
And there's a bunch of circles in there.
Greetings, Nemo Zero. Thank you for your post dated February 2nd, 2020. I am feeling much better and had a medical interview with my specialist. So my doctor, who is a specialist, put
I'd love to know who this person is.
in for the medical in-house will. Follow my doctor's directions because I am in serious pain in my backside. Mostly when I lay down or stretch out. My son is another one showing his love toward me. He has shown love toward me, and the only male in my family has shown love towards me. The rest of my male family talk about me about as if I am a stranger. Nevertheless, my son's daughter is my heart. Thank you for your prayer. Believe it or not, sincere prayer move God of the world. Some say if you are the far remote star in the universe, yet our heaven Father hears us from distance, far away. Then that and
I hate to say it, but whenever they start talking about religion and they start talking about God and stuff like that, it's always the same thing. Yeah. Just shut your door, please, and thank you. Sorry, what I meant to say, there's always some sort of religious aspect to serial killers. There always is. I don't know.
He is stay on the main line. All of us can call him up and tell him our desire anytime we feel like it. No matter if the line is busy, he takes all calls, and you is never put on hold, but receive your personal call. Never is he weary or be indifferent. Forgive me for going on and on about him. It's because of all he done for and is doing for me, even if I ask not, he continue forever. The pain I have been feeling is nothing compared to the pain he had to endure for each one of us. He gave up his life so each of us may have life, and after death he continued to do the supernatural.
Well, obviously he was involved with religion and the church and stuff like that when he was married, because he was married once. He was a minister, they said, for a gospel church. And then his marriage went to shit and he started dating men. And he's still preaching the ways here of the Lord. Uh, it's just weird.
Work so you and I could have everlasting life. Some put on and some put off 1 Timothy 4:7, but have nothing to do with worldly fables, fit only for old wombs. On the other hand, discipline yourself for the purpose of godliness. Now for the put on, Ephesians 6:14. Stand therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness. Again I say, if you tell people a lie, it sounds good enough to make millions of dollars. People buy that because they sound good, it feel good, and it make those who making the millions feel good. Except those people buying all of
Yeah, I think they need to up his medication, is what I think.
their naturals and materials feel good until they learn it is a lie.
But that's what Christianity or other beliefs are. Having a steady belief system and knowing what we stand for. I can't imagine not having something to believe in or knowing what to stand for. Yeah, I get that. I just don't understand why they gotta use it to make it okay for why they kill. That's what I was trying to say. That I don't like. I don't know what he's trying to explain though.
Oh, sure, it felt good while reading. However, the truth is out, and those want to take the millions from the one who is told the lie and made millions. Why? Because he lied and sold for the truth. Therefore, those that was lied to are suing the liar for misuse of the truth. A thief
What?
cometh for to steal, kill, and destroy. The same as a thief come to steal, kill, and destroy. Your thoughts are dead on point and keep hitting the bullseye. Now, as for your question, it's not to I personal who say I kill multiple people. This is true society tells it the way they can't see with their eyes of a hunter. With just 4 rabbits,
With just 4 rabbits, kill. We'll say I kill multiple rabbits. Let's have a cookout. We both know 2 + 2 = 4. Also, 2 equals to a couple. So 2 + 2 = 4 couple. Where is this coming from? If you ask me, we were talking about two. What in the hell? 2 couples, since it takes two to make a couple. So then 4 = 2 couple. Someone should sue society for lying. Anybody do it in my name and build us a housing department of ex-cons. Why? Because these society are lying? What the shit? My own version is, as I told it, 4 individuals robbed my apartment, taking everything I had of valuables, a piano. What? A flower?
kill will say I kill multiple rabbits, lying anybody to do it in my name, and build us a housing department of ex-cons. Why? Because robbed my apartment. Long play albums, fur coat, 4 or 5, every reason to off them. especially Harry. That blank blank
On the
suckers
page.
gave me every reason to off them. Long play albums, toaster, steam, iron, 50-inch TV, color, one fur coat, and $650 cash. And all this happened when I was at work. 7455 Ave. Yes, those four mother aspirin suckers gave me every reason to off them, especially Harry. That blank blank made his greatest mistake when he said, bragging, no doubt about his girlfriend, how he screwed her with a blank blank. How could he forget that with that same blank, Harry had filled me with his blank? So this son of a blank were a master of lying. Laying the pipe, however, he forgot of filling me with his blank desires. I pretended that I
Sorry, I'd read it, but I'm not sure what they're reading off a different page.
did not understand what he said concerning his girlfriend. How did I cut Harry in half?
Oh,
With a hacksaw. No, I cut him in half so the bags would not bust and spill out, so three bags for the top part of his body and the same number of bags for the bottom. That were the motive for his big ass mouth. Bragging about screwing his girlfriend with his affected blank, hating the female that much, convicting her for life, was he that nowhere.
so looks like I think what he's trying to say is that he had a girlfriend and this Harry person, the gay man that Waldo was also involved with, I'm assuming had AIDS and gave it to his girlfriend. That's what it sounds like. That's why he killed him.
This thing he had affected his brain cell, yes.
Okay, I can read it now. So this thing had affected his brain cell, yes. I did put both parts into the shopping cart. One whole Harry would not fit in the cart. I was afraid that once he stiffens up, his limbs would punch holes into the bags. Not knowing once the body went limp, I could have folded him up, but the cart was old and slammed against each step while going down the landing upstairs. Then, when I got into the street, the wheels broke under the weight of his under his corpse. After 40 years, I am still pissed of how I was played. Now here I am again being played by my only true friend. Okay.
I was afraid that once he stiffened, but the cart was old and slammed against each wheels broke under the weight of his corpse. After 40 years, I am still mad of how I was played. Now here I am again being played by my only true friend. Oh, Anton, you see that Park had a great pond with crazy fish in the pond. I felt the
Who the hell
fish would eat
who the hell's Anton now?
the body had it been in there long enough. Let's see if you have some questions on why. Hope you're satisfied with this letter and answers. Waldo Grant.
That is crazy. He isn't using it to make it okay. He's insane. This is insane. He's insane. Yeah. Okay, so I saw this and I'm like, what? That's crazy. So that's all I found on YouTube about Waldo Grant, somebody actually writing to him. And then when I was looking for more stuff on just Google, somehow I came across this and I was like, what the hell? Where- There's an actual friggin' site to write murderers. I was in awe. So I clicked on this site, I signed up, and then it's called Write a Murderer. So I'm like, okay, looked at. All of a sudden I see Paul Bernardo artwork. I'm going, huh? This is 2007. This person says, I have seen, held, and taken digital pictures of artwork that is thumbprinted and signed by Paul Bernardo. This artwork is going to be up for sale within the second week of December. I am not the seller or in possession of the artwork, but know the actual seller. What the hell does this artwork look like? Okay, just brings me back to that. Okay, let's go back. Write a murderer. This is a place for people who enjoy writing with serial killers and murderers to come to post copies of their letters and talk about, like, discuss it. It says, please post any letters or artwork you receive from serial killers in this section. Anyone is allowed to post or start a topic about any serial killer or murder they know. Charles Tex Watson. I got my first letter back. Oh my God, these people are happy about that. Charles Tex Watson. Um, Charles Denton Watson, born December 2nd, 1945 in Dallas, Texas, also known as Tex Watson, is an American murder. Yeah, okay, I know that. Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to go relive that again. Okay, well, they just wanted to write a thing on it? Okay. I got my first letter back. Who's Philip? I wrote to Philip Jablonski, and he wrote back. Does anybody know who that is? Philip Jablonski. I really didn't think he would. It was an interesting letter. I knew of the crimes he did, and I am fascinated by what killers can do. He talked a bit about what he did and why he was on death row. I wrote back to him and hoped to get more in the future. I also wrote a less popular guy and got a response back. He's also on death row. This topic isn't really about much, but I figured I would share that got a good response. Later, guys. This is crazy. Michael Carneal. Can anyone here give me his mailing address, please? Holy shit. These people are nuts. Who's Robert Bobby Kenneth Beausoleil? Okay, I thought Charles Manson, but that was the writer, was it not? No, that was never mind. There's Beausoleil, and then there's the other one that has almost the same last name. This is his art. Mhm. DeFeo, like Robert DeFeo? Has anyone actually written to him? If he did he respond? Robert DeFeo, Amity House, just to clarify who I'm talking about. I've written to him, but never got a reply. I've been writing to Robert DeFeo for quite a few years now. It took me about 10 letters before I got my first response from him. He's very interesting to hear from. He talks a lot about how the Lutzes made the whole thing up with the whole Amityville horror deal. He is always also talking about how he's trying to save up money to get a new typewriter. Keep writing because he does write back. I have heard that the Lutzes made it up too. Elmer Wayne Henley Jr. Who's that? I don't care what he likes. They have his full name. He's called Wayne Elmo Mo, any number of permutations of my name. I prefer to be called Wayne. He likes chocolate, reading, and people. Touching goth females. Oh my God, somebody actually posted this, what he said. His dislikes are confusion, liars, bigotry, dogmatism, and prunes. What was your childhood like? He says, happy, although I suffered from asthma. My memories are happy ones and probably not much different from anyone else. I liked school, I liked girls, played baseball, did the scout thing, and basically lived an average childhood. I want to see who this guy is first. Elmer Wayne Henley Jr. Oh, is that the guy of Mindhunter? So he's convicted American serial killer. He's incarcerated at Texas Department of Criminal Justice. What did he do? He was convicted in 94 for his role as participant in a series of murders known as the Houston mass murderers. Does anybody know or heard about them? Wow. Like this idiot's asking him about his sexuality. Drugs. He says drugs are a waste of time. The world is too wondrous place to need enhancement. They ask about sexuality. He says any sexuality is a private issue and should not be regulated by government or society. If two or more consenting adults wish to engage in any sexual activity, then that's their business. What do you read? His favorite music is Linkin Park and Christina Aguilera and Pink. Three Doors Down, Pink Floyd, Patti LaBelle. Oh my gosh. How did you meet Dean Coral? David Brooks introduced me. I believe I was originally an intended victim, but could not be caught out alone. I was always checking in with my mom. What the shit? Describe the events leading up to Coral's death. This is a matter of public record, and I see no reason to recount that time now. Okay. In 1976, Houston authorities announced that investigations of child pornography had linked other local pedophiles with Coral's murder ring, but no prosecutions were planned. Did any prosecutions take place? I have no idea and wish someone would investigate this. Were others involved in Coral besides Brooks and yourself? Most police agencies believe there are more bodies and maybe more accomplices. I tend to agree, although I have no personal knowledge of either one or the other. David Brooks. Okay, so there's like three of these people. David Brooks and Coral and this dude were all together in a pedophile what? Oh my god. There's his address if anybody wants to write to him. You don't know anything about them. I just this is creepy as hell. Richard, Charles Manson's prison buddy, meeting Manson. Are you guys insane? Give the chance, would you go to Corcoran to visit Manson? I would in a heartbeat. I would love to get a picture with him and be able to actually sit down and talk to him for a while. Everybody's saying, yeah, I agree. I haven't had the balls to write to him. Oh my God. Would anybody be interested in meeting NCA to visit Charlie? This is messed up. And the fact that this is allowed, I'm writing to these guys, the Chicago Rippers. It was a case with all the grisly drama of a Hollywood production. A serial slayer, predictably dubbed Jack the Ripper by newsmen, was stalking young women in Chicago and environs, discarding their mutilated corpses like so much cast-off rubbish. Homicide detectives had no inkling of the killer's motive or identity. They couldn't even manage to agree upon a body count. The speculation published daily in Chicago's press was bad enough. The truth, when finally exposed, was infinitely worse. I never heard about this one. Edward Spreitzer, the Chicago Rippers? I've never heard of this. On May 23rd, 1981, 28-year-old Linda Sutton was abducted by persons unknown from Elmhurst, a Chicago suburb. 10 days later, her mutilated body, the left breast missing, was recovered from a field in Villa Park adjacent to Rip Van Winkle Motel. The evidence suggested Sutton had been kidnapped by a sadist, but police had nothing in the way of solid clues. Wow. Yeah, I would never want no, right? Hell no. A year would pass before the next acknowledged victim in the series disappeared. On May 15th, 1982, 21-year-old Lorraine Borowski was scheduled to open the Elmhurst realtor's office where she worked. Employees turning up for work that morning found the office locked. Borowski's shoes and scattered contents from her handbag strewn outside the door. Police were called at once, but 5 more months elapsed before a corpse was found. On October 10th, in a cemetery south of Villa Park, advanced decomposition left the cause of death a mystery. 2 weeks later, on May 29th, Sue Mack was reported missing from Hanover Park in Cook County. Her mutilated body recovered at Barrington on September 30th. On June 13th, a prostitute, Angel York, was picked up by a John in a van. Handcuffed, her breast slashed open before she was dumped on September 30th. Or dumped on the roadside alive? Holy shit. Descriptions of her attacker had taken police nowhere by August 28th, when teenager hooker Sandra Delaware was found stabbed and strangled to death on the bank of the Chicago River, her left breast nearly amputated. Rose Davis, age 30, was in identical condition when police found her corpse in Chicago Alley on September 8th. 3 days later, a 42-year-old Carol Pappas, wife of the Chicago Cubs pitcher, vanished without a trace from a department store in nearby Wheaton, Illinois. Detectives got the break they had been waiting for October 6th. That morning, prostitute Beverly Washington, age 20, was found nude and savaged beside a Chicago railroad track. Her left breast as well had been severed, the right deeply slashed, but she was still breathing. Oh my God. And emergency treatment would save her life. Holy crap. Hours later, in a seemingly unrelated incident, drug dealer Rafael Torrado was killed, a male companion wounded, when the occupants of a cruising van peppered their phone booth with rifle fire. 2 weeks later, on October 20th, police arrested unemployed carpenter Robin Getcht, age 28, and charged him with the cruel assault on Beverly Washington. Also suspected of slashing prostitute Cynthia Smith before she escaped from his van, Get was an odd character, once accused of molesting his own younger sister. Authorities immediately linked him with the Ripper slangs, but they had no proof. And he made bail October 26. Meanwhile, detectives had learned that Get was one of 4 men who rented adjoining rooms at Villa Park's Rip Van Winkle Motel several months before Linda Sutton was murdered nearby. The manager remembered them as party animals, frequently bringing women to their rooms, and he surprised investigators with one further bit of the information. The men had been some kind of cultists, perhaps devil worshippers. Holy frig. 2 of the Rip Van Winkle tenants, brothers Thomas and Andrew Kokoralis, had been linked or been kind enough to leave a forwarding address for any mail they might receive. Police found 23-year-old Thomas at home when they called, and his inconsistent answers earned him a trip downtown. The suspect promptly failed a polygraph examination, cracking under stiff interrogation to describe the Satanic Chapel and Get's upstairs bedroom, where captive women were tortured and with knives and ice picks. Holy shit. Gang art and finally sacrificed to Satan by members of a tiny cult, including Get, the Cocorales brothers, and 23-year-old Edward Spritzer. As described by the prisoner, cultic rituals included severing one or both breasts with a thin wire groat, each celebrant taking communion by eating a piece before the relic was consigned to Get's trophy box. At one point, Cocorales told detectives he had counted 15 breasts inside the box. Holy shit, I've never heard of this person. Some other victims had been murdered at the Rip Van Winkle out in Villa Park. He picked a snapshot of Lorraine Borowski as a woman he had picked up with his brother for a one-way ride to the motel. Borowski was, as a woman he had picked up. Sorry. Police had heard enough. Armed with a search and arrest warrants, they swept up Robin Gett, Ed Spritzer, and 20-year-old Andrew Cocorales on November 5th, lodging them in jail under $1 million bond. A search of Gett's apartment revealed a satanic chapel described by Tom Cocorales, and lawmen came away with a rifle matched to the recent Torado shooting. Satanic literature was also retrieved in the apartment occupied by Andrew Cocorales. With their suspects in custody, authorities speculated that the gang might have murdered 18 women in as many months. Wow. Tom Cocorales was charged with the slaying of Lorraine Borowski on November 12th, formally indicated by a grand jury 4 days later. Brother Andrew and Edward Spitzer were charged on November 14th with the art and murder victim Rose Davis. When the mangled body of 22-year-old Susan Baker was found on November 16th at a site where previous victims had been discarded, police were worried that other cult members might still be at large. You think? No charges were filed in that case. Wow. However, and authorities now connect Baker's death with her background of drug and prostitution arrests in several states. Facing multiple charges of attempted murder, art, and aggravated battery, Robert Gett was found mentally competent for trial on March 2nd, 1983. His trial opened on September 20th, and Gett took the witness stand next day, confessing the attack on Beverly, Washington. Convicted on all accounts, he received a sentence of 120 years in prison. Tom Cocorales has suffered a change of heart since confessing the murder. Attorneys seeking to block the reading of his statements in forthcoming trials, but on December 4th, 1983, the confessions were admitted in evidence. Meanwhile, on April 2nd, 1984, Ed Spritzer pled guilty on 4 counts of murder, including victims Davis, Delaware, Mack, and Torado. Sentenced to life on each count, he received additional time on conviction for charges of deviant sexual assault, and attempted murder. Tom Cocorales was convicted of Lorraine Borowski's murder on May 18, 1984. While awaiting sentencing, he led police to a field where Carol Pappas was allegedly buried, and searchers could find no remains. On September 7th, the killer's helpful attitude was rewarded with a sentence of life imprisonment. Wow. 18 days later, Cocorales, his brother, and Ed Spritzer were indicted for the murder of Linda Sutton. Andrew Cocorales and Spritzer were also named in a second indictment covering the murder of Lorraine Borowski. February 6, 1985, a statement from Andrew Cocorales was read to the jury in his trial for the Davis murder. In his confession, the defendant admitted he was cruising with fellow cultists Gett and Spritzer when they kidnapped Davis, with Andrew stabbing her several times in the process. Convicted on February 11th, he received his death sentence on March 18th. Good. A year later, on March 4th, 1986, Ed Spritzer was convicted of murdering Linda Sutton, firmly sentenced to death on March 20th. Authorities declared that Spritzer had agreed to testify against Gett in that case. But at this writing, no further charges have been filed in Chicago's grim series of cannibal murders. She was a cannibal as well? Ugh. Oh yeah, I guess if he ate the breast. 18 women. Yeah. I never heard of that person. Any of those people. It says Ed Spritzer, the Chicago Rippers, but it was more than just him. It was a friggin' cult. Wow. There's 5 posts, okay. Here is a greeting card in full by Spritzer. What do you mean? I can't read that. Happy Valentine's Day. Hug, kiss, hug, kiss, I kiss. Edward Spritzer. I don't even know who that's to. It doesn't say his name. Yeah, I can't even read that. Page 1, page 2, page 3, 4. Yeah, this must be all the letters that they get. Richard Bond. Manson Family Values. Picture of Charles Manson from a few months ago. That's 2007. Haddon Clark, Michael Carneal, Randall Hubbard, Anthony Shore, Harrison Graham, Jim Jones, and Jonestown. O.J. Simpson. Holy shit, they're talking to him too. Patricia Krumrinkle, Danny Rolling, John Wayne Gacy, Pamela Smart. Dorothy Puente. She was a horrible, horrible person. Susan Atkins, Ed Gein. My God, there's Texas Chainsaw Massacre for you, Ed Gein. Squeaky, Richard Ramirez, Ted Bundy, Linda Kasabian, the Unabomber, Clifford Olson. Oh, that piece of shit. He's from Canada. David Berkowitz, Mark David Chapman. That's the one that killed Lennon, wasn't it? John Lennon. Susan Smith. Oh my God. Who the fuck would write to her? Okay, I think I've had enough with this shit for one night. Anyways, it was supposed to be just about Waldo Grant, but kind of went down a rabbit hole. If I don't stop now, I'm gonna keep going. So my back hurts, and I need to get something to eat. I'll be back tomorrow though with some Jack the Ripper. Thanks for joining me, guys. And yes, I will be back tomorrow for sure. Because it'll be Easter Sunday, so that'll be cool. I'll be cooking my ham and homemade scalloped potatoes. That'll be good. All right, you guys have a great night. Bye.